Hello everyone, I am Prachit Malgi, roll number 1711032, and today in this video we are going to see the version control tool CVS, so concurrent version system. So before we get started, before we jump on to the CVS, we first understand what is version control tools and the important features of this version control tools and the applications. So what exactly is version control tool? Basically, it allows you to allows users and their teammates to work simultaneously on a single project from anywhere in the world at any time. So basically, while using this tool, the user has ability. User can write on his user can make changes in his own copy, and he has total control over it, so that he decides when to share his works with his teammates. So basically, you cannot interfere with any other person's work. And after everything is done, after the coding of every single person from the team is done, you can sit and merge all the changes together, integrate all the work done by your members, and get a full-fledged software or full-fledged product you are seeking. So basically, the important feature of this version control tool is that it keeps track of the previous versions, the historical versions of the project. So basically, it often happens that while merging code, while adding new code in the system, there might be bugs, there might be wrong information added in the code. So to resolve such conflicts, there are different things provided by this tool to solve these conflicts, such that you can roll back to the previous versions. There is also a bug report feature there, and then also you can undo some specific edits without losing your work. And so we can see that it has total control over the product, and you can know when the code has been changed, what code has been changed, and by whom it actually got changed. So let's now see what are the different types of the version control system. First being the centralized version, is also known as client server version, because there is only one node which has total control over the system, which is a server, and it is actually interacting with all other clients simultaneously. So it has total controls, but we can see that it is also prone to single point of error, as if anything happens to that node, then there might be loss of data, there might be loss of control, and the users, or we can say the clients, cannot push and pull the code, commit the new code into the system, and might suffer due to the loss of data. So to conquer these pitfalls, they have come up with a new system, which is also known as distributed system, where the control and data has been replicated across various nodes at the single time. So even if so basically it is not prone to single point of error, but there are disadvantages of its own, such as you have to replicate the same data across many nodes or at the same time. It is not a really space optimized version. So according to the need, according to the situation, it's up to you which current version control system architecture you want to use. So now you can see the list of various version control softwares on the screen, along with their network architectures, the methods these softwares use to resolve the conflicts, then their development status, and a Bitbucket support. Now what we are going to see in this video is the CVS, which is a centralized system, or we can say the client server system architecture. Now we'll see the important features of the version control. The first being collaboration, that as I said, it allows you to work entire team simultaneously on the same product, and it also stores various versions, historical versions of your data while committing new codes to this system. Then there are various methods to resolve conflicts. The conflicts conflicts arise if you add wrong code, or maybe there are bugs in your code, then those can be solved with the help of various techniques, such as you can roll back to the previous versions, you can undo the changes in your source code which are responsible for the bugs. Then you can say that you can restore the previous versions. There is offsite code backup as well, and because of all these things, it really helps us to fasten the product delivery. Now we'll see the application of the version controls. The first being software development can be as entire teams can work simultaneously from anywhere at any point, and they can see what changes their teammates are making. Accordingly, they can change their own codes, and that's how the software development can be done in really revolutionary way. And to support these things and to make your teammates aware that what changes you are made. You can add comments while committing your code into the system, so which is really important and helpful while documentation of the system, which is the very next point. And then the web development is basically the combination of the first two, that is the software development and documentation. And lastly being system management, where we can say that if you write a single code for any single machine or a single product, you don't have to rewrite this code for other machines. You can just replicate from the version control tool and use that, execute that code on the different machines.
Hello, I am Rahul Mistry. My roll number is 1711033. So now let's have a look at the outline of this presentation. So firstly we'll be seeing what is CVS, then we will come to its features, then we will see its pros and cons, then we will see how it is installed on your local machine, and then we'll come to conclusion. So firstly, what is CVS? So CVS stands for Concurrent Versions System. It allows developers to collaborate on projects transparently across networks and client platforms. It works best on plain text files, but it can also handle binary files. Some functionality will be lost on binary files as the CVS cannot perform the same operations on these files. Then we have two crucial elements. One is the central source code repository and the other is the version control of the source code. So on the right you can see there is a picture which shows there is a central server and then there are several developers who are contributing to a project. So the central server basically is the main branch which will hold the entire copy of your project. And then we will have local branches, which is actually the copy of the central repository on each local machine of the developer, so that they can collaborate and contribute to the project at the same time. Now what is a repository? So a repository is a central storage of your entire project, and commit is something which depicts the changes which are made by the developer. Let's say if one developer is pushing a file, so that is what a commit is. Then what is a working directory? Basically each committer has their own working directory or a sandbox directory in his or her local environment. This is where the changes can be made and tested without affecting what is stored in the repository. This is disconnected and concurrent design is the heart of the CVS. And then what is basically a CVS module? So a module is any number of source files that can form a meaningful package. This may be a library of a C function, a single Perl file, a subdirectory in a web server, etc. Now on the right you can see a picture of the CVS repository. That is actually how a CVS repository looks. So we have a CVS root, which is the root, which is basically the head of your directory. Then we have several other branches. Let's say the collaborator can create a project 1, then there is a project 2, and then each directory will have its own subdirectories. So now let's see the features of CVS. Firstly, real-time collaboration. So let's say there is a project and you have multiple developers working on it. So you assign roles to developers, like one developer is working on a certain feature, the other one is working on another feature. So all these developers can collaborate to the project at the same time. So that is what real-time collaboration means. Secondly, we have a source file history. Now let's say there is a new version of the project, we call it 2.0. Then later on it is found out that the current version has several bugs in it. So you want to roll back to the previous version which was created earlier. So even this is possible with the help of CVS. You can roll back to a previous version with the help of the source file history. Then you have own branches. Let's say there are several developers working on a project. Every developer will be assigned some or the other role to work on certain feature or to bring up a new feature to the project. So they can create their own branches on the repository so that it doesn't interrupt what the other developer is trying to do. So it will not cause any bugs or it won't affect the version of the project. Then there is a flexible modules database. That's basically all the logs which contain the commits and the changes which are made by the developers who are contributing to the project. Then you have repository event triggers. So let's say if there is a commit, or if let's say there is an update to the repository, then an email alert would be sent to the developers indicating what has been changed, what all files have been changed, what's the line number at which the code has been changed. So all these alerts would be sent to the developers. Then you have a checkout usage model. So checkout is basically creating a copy of your working directory, and then you commit this to the repository. Commit, basically you're making a change, so you're letting other developers know that you have made some change. And update is basically updating the repository so that it doesn't have the old version of the project. Now let's look at some CVS commands. So firstly we have the CVS checkout, which is for check out the source for editing. Then we have CVS add, which adds a new file or a directory to the repository. Then we have CVS remove, which removes an entry from the repository. Then we have CVS status, which shows the status of the checked out files. Then we have the CVS log, which shows the entire log of the file. Then you have the CVS diff, which is comparing the working files to version in repository or versions inside the repository. Then we have CVS update, which brings the working files into sync with the repository. Then we have a CVS commit, which checks the file into the repository. Then we have a CVS tag, which labels the sources. Now let's look at the pros and cons of CVS. So firstly, we have concurrent model of development. That basically means real-time development, so that like many collaborators could contribute to a project at the same time. So that is what concurrent model of development is. Then there is excellent cross-platform support. Let's say there is a developer who's using a Windows machine, and then there is other developer who's working on Linux. So it doesn't matter on whatever platform you are. It's completely cross-platform. Then you have client-server model. Then there is a strong and fully featured command line client. So for tools, for version control tools, it is very much essential to have a command line client, because it will be much easier to make commits or update something just by typing a few commands on the CLI. Then there is a good support from huge CVS community. Like let's say if you're facing a bug for pushing something on the repository and you don't know how to do it, so you could simply Google and you could find out a lot of developers who might have come across the same error on Stack Overflow or something. So there is a very huge CVS community. Then there is a nice web browsing for a source code repository using the CVS web. So with the help of the CVS web, you could check out other repositories of other developers and you could see their project. Then there are also some cons for CVS, as there is no integrity for checking of the source code repository. Then the checkout and the commits are not at all atomic. Then the CVS manages revision on a file by file basis. There is poor support for distributed source control, and it is oriented towards text files, so it becomes easy to mess up with the management of binary files.
Hello everyone, this is Kalpesh, roll number 1711031, and I'll be walking you through the steps that are required for installing the Tortoise concurrent version system. Along with that, I'll also introduce you to the steps that are required for using the software. So over here we have provided the link. Just go to the link and download the exe file for this software. After that, click on it and install it. Just make sure that the file has been installed in the location that is provided over here, that is inside the C directory followed by program files, and that's where you have to make sure that the file is installed. So these are the steps that are required for using the CVS. I'll take you through each one of them. Add file. So add file is basically a feature that enables us to add a file or a repository which is present on a local machine to this software. All you have to do is go to Windows and click on CVS add. Once you've done that, the file that you have selected appears over here. It takes a few moments to add the file depending upon the size of the file that you're trying to add. Once the file has been added, this OK button that you see over here becomes enabled. Click on OK and you can move ahead. Next is check-in. So once you have made some changes to your project or a file, the software basically asks you to commit those changes. The operation generates a random key which can be used later to roll back to a previous version of the project that you have been working on. So to do it, simply click on CVS commit. Once you click on it, it will ask you to enter a commit, which basically acts as a small description of the current version of the project that you're working on. So it becomes easier for us to come back to a particular version. Once you've done, click on OK and you can go ahead. Revision graph. So revision graph is basically a graphical representation of all the commits that have been made to a particular project or a file. To go to the revision graph, click on the right click on the file, go to CVS and then click on revision graph. Once you go there, you can see that the new underscore file.txt, which is basically a demo file, shows that we have only made one commit to it. Then you have checkout. So if we want to make a modification to a file, we go in there, we make the modifications and then view, and then all we do is make new commit with new comments. We add a new comment which basically gives us a description. Click OK, and hence it becomes easy for us to roll back to a previous version. So every time we make a modification, a new node is added to the revision graph. So you can see 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 basically represent various commits that have been made over a period of time on this file. Then we have tag. So tag basically acts as a name or a reference to the nodes in the revision graph. To go there, just right click on the file, go to CVS and then click on tag. So you can enter a name for the tag that so you can select create tag, move existing tag, delete existing tag, and you can also name the tag. You can see over here, click on OK and you can go ahead. So you can see earlier we had 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So by using the tag feature, you can see over here we have added various tags to those different nodes which were different commits that were made to the new underscore file.txt file. The next is branch. So a branch is a feature which is useful when multiple people are working on the same project. So every individual works on its own separate branch, and in the end we merge all the branches together when we are ready to merge them using the merge operation. So During the merging, if any conflict arises, the version system lets us know about the conflicts. So in conclusion, we can say that when multiple people want to work on a project, the system is a very useful one, as multiple individuals can work simultaneously on a single project. Everyone works on their own copy of the files, that is on their own local copy of the file, and it is up to them when they wish to share the latest changes that they have made to their own copy of the file with the remaining team members. It also enables one person to use multiple computers to work on a project, so it is valuable even if you are working by yourself. It integrates the work that is done simultaneously by different members of a team. And in case if conflicts arise during the final merging operation, the software requests for human assistance in order to determine what is to be done with it. Thank you.